yo, you're going to be a little inconvenienced if you want to participate in this thing. True growth comes from discomfort. People say,
Yeah.
what you got planned for this weekend? Not a damn thing. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, your family is what you're born into, but your chosen family or your friends, these are people that you're choosing. And if you're making that choice to have a relationship with somebody, put the work in to really have a relationship with somebody.
And
Yeah.
avoiding inconvenience or connection contributes to the rising loneliness. He also emphasizes that inconvenience isn't just part of sustaining friendships, but also the entryway to them. Many adults struggle with loneliness because they avoid putting in the necessary legwork to form bonds, compounded by declining social skills due to technology and the pandemic. And then I have some takeaways from the video that I put in the different categories that I, think were important talking points. But just when you sent me this video, I was like, yo, he's making very valid points. And
Yeah.
it's not just friendships, it's relationships.
It's
Relationships with your
relationships in general.
friends,
Yeah.
family, loved ones, co-workers. like
Yeah.
it's all of these stuff are built on, yo, you're gonna be a little inconvenienced if you want to participate in this thing.
Yeah. His name is Shahem McLaren or McLaurin. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. But he is a therapist and licensed clinical social worker and the owner of Freedom Collective Therapy. Yeah, it was a really it really hit home to me because I moved to Atlanta about 10 years ago. I my brother was here. I knew one person and that's it. And it's just like, how did I over that decade build the community that I have now? And it was by inconveniencing myself.
Mhm.
And that's not all, I think we take the word inconvenience and we think, okay, whenever we're inconvenienced, that's a bad thing. But it's not. It was an inconvenience that I chose because I'm a homebody. I like to be by myself. I like to be in the house, but I also wanted community. And so that means I have to push myself outside of what, like you said, past your personal boundaries of comfort. You got to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and do stuff in order to one, build the friendships and then sustain them. Like having a friend is an active thing. Having any relationship is an active thing on your part. It's not just saying, this is my friend, boom, that's it, we're done. No, it's you gotta keep working at it every single day. You gotta keep up that communication, gotta keep up that contact, and you have to push yourself. And yes, that requires a level of inconvenience.
So something that you said that piqued my interest, and inconvenience is uncomfortable discomfort.
Mhm.
And to me, true growth comes from discomfort.
Yes.
So if you want to grow as a person, you got to put yourself in inconvenient situations and in discomfort. That's
Mhm.
just how this thing works. Like they say, the long road is always the best road to take as opposed to the shortcut, because there are no shortcuts in life. You
Yeah.
need to go through all the lessons. That's pain and misery and everything. And that makes the accomplishment of taking that long road even better when you get to your goal. In this
Yes.
situation, a goal is friendship. Now, I will be the first to say I'm a bad friend. Well, actually, I'm bad in all relationships because I really don't like being inconvenienced.
Mhm.
Growing up with me, I was a spoiled brat. And if it was something I didn't want to do, I was going to make everybody miserable if I had to do it.
Yeah.
My boys still bring this up. It's like, yeah, back in the day, if Bruce wasn't having fun, nobody could have fun. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need to grow up and mature, because the people that are in my life right now, the friends that are in my life right now, do real work to bring me out of my comfort zone. And my comfort
Yeah.
zone is just like yours, sitting in the house, chilling. My
Yeah.
favorite thing in the entire world. I mean, my house very comfortable. It's very
Yes.
pleasing to me,
Yes.
and I love nothing better when there is nothing on the schedule. People say,
Yeah.
what you got planned for this weekend? Not a damn thing. That's my favorite thing.
Yes.
But I have to make time for my friends.
Yes.
I have to show them, you matter to me.
Yes.
And that means doing the things that are completely inconvenient for me,
Yeah.
but that's what friendship is. So one of the takeaways that I got from this video and that you just touched on is that true friendship often requires sacrifice, stepping outside of your personal comfort, and missing these steps means relationships can't deepen. If you want that
Yeah.
superficial stuff, don't put in the work.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and you know, sometimes certain friendships, certain relationships are meant to be superficial, right?
Mhm.
Like, to me, I find like work relationships like that. Like, right? Like, you don't want to bring too much of your personal stuff to work. So like, yeah, you're not going to do too much uh a deepening of a work relationship. But if you want a real friendship, yeah, you're gonna have to push yourself. You're going to have to push yourself. There's nothing wrong with inconvenience, and there's nothing wrong with sacrifice. There's nothing wrong with making compromises if it's your choice, because I'm choosing this person to be in my life. I'm choosing to have this person. That's the beauty about friendships versus, like, say, your family. Your family is what you're born into, but your chosen family are your friends. These are people that you're choosing. And if you're making that choice to have a relationship with somebody, put the work in to really have a relationship with somebody.
And that means building community, which requires the effort of making calls,
Yeah.
arranging plans, and showing vulnerability, because
Yeah.
you have to initiate that closeness if you want to have deeper bonds.
You have to.
Also, just because you want to be friends with somebody don't mean that that person wants to be friends with you. So
Hmm.
rejection is also part of the process. Not everyone's
Yeah.
going to reciprocate friendship, and accepting the reality means trying again with others rather than withdrawing. And once again, I feel like this can all be placed in relationships, whether
Yeah.
it's family, friends, or somebody that you're trying to date or your loved one. Like,
Yeah.
just because things don't work out, just because you're rejected, that don't mean that you withdraw and don't go back out there.
Yeah. Don't put yourself back out there. I mean, I had that. I met a person that I was like, this person's cool. I would like to be their friend. I worked I worked to make that friendship happen. And it didn't, it lasted for a little bit, but you know, I guess was more invested in being friends than that other person was. And that's okay. Like, sometimes people in your life for a reason or a season. I definitely feel like this person served a purpose for that time in my life. They provided a lot of great advice and support and encouragement for that time. And that's okay. That was it for that time. And it was beautiful. And I have no regrets about it. So like that's also okay. But just because you lose that one friend is not then, well, F everybody, right?
Right.
No, get back out there and try again. Like, and you see kids do it, right? When a kid first get on the playground, some kid will run up, you want to play? Yeah, and then they run off, right?
Mhm.
And that's it, and that's all it is. It's like you can actually see somebody and be like, that person looks cool. I would like to be their friend, and just go up to them and start talking to them. Like, just be like kids, because you're about to touch on this, and it's so important. We out here lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lonely epidemic that I've talked about on a previous podcast episode. It is a real thing. And
Yeah,
avoiding inconvenience or connection contributes to the rising loneliness. Also, technology and the pandemic have eroded people's social skills, making it harder. That's another
yeah,
thing that doesn't get talked about. Sometimes people are just don't have the social skills. So
yeah,
I I had a friend recently, and I've known this person for a few years, but we got closer recently.
hmm,
And this person said to me, "You really love talking about serious stuff." And I was like, "What?" Because I'm naturally a jokester and prankster and clown.
yes,
However, I also like deep conversations. I
Yeah.
love learning how people think, what makes them tick, and what makes them go. And sometimes my social awkwardness will
Mhm.
put me in the positions where I want to have those serious conversations when it ain't time to be serious. We at the bar. I don't need to ask you, so you and your mom are having a falling out right now. What's going on? How are you doing? No,
You're
that's
right.
not the
Yeah.
time to ask
Yes.
that. So
Yeah.
sometimes people can just be like, I don't want to hang with Bruce because he's too serious all the time. And I'm like, I am? Do you know me? But sometimes I be too serious sometimes. And not
Yeah.
everybody want to be serious. Not everybody want to
Yeah.
get deep and in the
Yes.
feelings. So,
Yes.
so that's a part of
Not
rejection.
not all the time, but yeah, like I think you're absolutely right also that the pandemic and technology have eroded people's social skills. There's a quote in the Pride and Prejudice film that I'm going to butcher, but basically Mr. Darcy says to Elizabeth, "I don't have the talent of conversing easily with people I've never met before." And she said, "Maybe you should take your aunt's advice and practice." Like
Mm,
it's just about you just got to try. You got to there's no way of building social. There's no book you can read. It's called the skills of being social. You got to go out, you got to meet somebody, you got to be social. And that's how you build social skills. Yes, it's going to be awkward and you might be cringy at first, but you'll slowly learn one how people communicate now in person, which is very different, right? You'll slowly start to learn that. And then also you'll slowly start to see who are your people and who's not your people.
hmm
And there are people for everybody. I know there's a lot of people that feel like I just can't make friends for whatever reason. I know a lot of neurodivergent people like myself sometimes have a difficult time making friends or building connection because sometimes you miss certain social cues and things, but just be friends with other neurodivergent people and we all
hmm
understand each other. Like
Yeah.
that's the solution that I found. Like we can all understand each other and we can all go on those info dumps and things that we have when we get really into a topic. Like I had a very long conversation about what the flesh inside a grape is called. It's pulp, by the way. I looked that up. I went down a whole rabbit hole about that. But I had a good conversation with another neurodivergent person. It's about finding your community and finding your people. And you can only do that by actually going out and looking for them.
That's true. Pulp, like orange juice has pulp, so that the
Yeah.
grape also has that, and
It's called the pulp. Yes.
that's the fleshy part of the grape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know how,
Because
ladies and
I
gentlemen, how you
was,
got the skin and you got the flesh. I just thought it
yeah.
was the grape, but the whole thing
Yeah.
is the grape, and you
Well,
got the
the
grape
whole thing is
skin,
the grape. Mhm.
right? And then you
And
got
then you
grape
have
pulp.
inside is the pulp. Yes.
Well,
I was eating some grapes and I was like, what the hell is this part of the grape called? And that is the answer. I went down a whole rabbit hole about it.
yeah, okay, all right. And we also in friendships, when we talk about inconvenience, we have to kind of reframe, as you said earlier, what that word actually means. Take the
Right.
negative connotation out
Right.
of what inconvenience mean and understand that it's an effort.
Yeah.
You might look at it as a burden, but it's an effort.
Mhm.
And the cost of this quote unquote burden or inconvenience is meaningful human connection.
Yeah.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.